Suzanne takes you down to the place near the river. There's this handmade notebook once a beautiful friend of mine gave it to me. This notebook have passed around and got to me. The ritual is that you add to it and pass it along to someone important of you. I had the notebook for a couple of years at this point. I was sure he's the one to pass it on. I added poems, some tiny drawings, and a personal note, and I was ready to say goodbye. This was the deal. A month of love, deeply in love, and there would be expiration date. There would be a day that we would say goodbye. There would be a night that we would say goodbye, and this was the night. Obviously, none of us was ready to say goodbye, but I had to. I had to end it before like a gigantic plan takes over my entire life. Barcelona, where we would go, a place, a corner that we would skate to, 1 or 2 drinks, and that would be all we need. I gave him the notebook. I said, I love you. I love you for everything you have done for me. I had the best month of my life. But don't reach out to me ever again. Everything changed when I said that, everything. But I have to say it. I just had to. We walked back home. We were quieter than before. He was quieter than before. We got home. We held each other. We went to bed. It was our last night together, but we didn't make love. He was pissed. He was pissed. The next day, he packed his stuff, his entire things, and we said goodbye, and he left. The next day, he packed his stuff, we said goodbye, and he left. He left the town that I knew with him. He left the town we lived in together. He left, and I didn't know what to do with myself, where to go next. Just started walking in the streets for hours, found myself in the garden of a library, staring at an empty fountain center, listening to Leonard Cohen. Suzanne takes you down to the place near the river. You can hear the boats go by. You can spend the night forever, and you know she's half crazy, but that's why you wanna be there. I didn't have the heart to go back home. Like, I just couldn't walk back home and look at that space one more time without him in it, knowing that he's not gonna come back. I just dragged myself back home. I opened the door and I hated everything about the apartment. I hated it. I closed the door behind myself. I took a deep breath and I said, you must go on. This is life. You must go on. Walked through the rooms, got to my bedroom, and I just like stepped down a tiny step, and I just burst into the loudest cry. I just sat down in the doorway, just cried, and I knew deep down, I knew in my heart I cannot go without him. I just thought I might die without him.